I'm invisible. Let's talk about the thieves in RPGs. The sneaky gits. The thieves introduce an interesting challenge, because it's a dynamic of narrative ignorance that still requires rules enforcements. In a computerized game, stealth is really easy. The computer, which is an impartial and precise enforcer of the rules, is free to impose total ignorance on the part of the players. Bam! Done. With a tabletop game, we found that placing the total burden of rules enforcement on the GM is impractical, and that other players can and ought to help uphold the integrity of the game. If you have the miniature on the table, sitting on the grid or the hex map, you're asking the player to pretend that a thing he sees is not there. If you don't have some kind of physical reminder, however, the sneaky character can slip through the cracks when area effect damage is applied or something like that. This is one of the many reasons why Fiendwake represents space and movement more abstractly. Games like Magic the Gathering have successfully demonstrated the rich dynamic that comes with an abstract space. Creatures on the table denote their relative locations by abstract game state. You declare them attacking or blocking, as well as any special keywords that denote when and how those things can be done. In Fiendwake, characters can occupy up to one of a variety of locations. These locations may be created by GM fiat or by some other rule. Different battlefields will have different locations. Some battlefields may have no special locations whatsoever. An example of a location can be a hilltop, which by virtue of its higher ground may grant ranged weapons a bonus to their damage. A fortified position may grant a defensive bonus to its occupants. A more vulnerable location may aggravate damage inflicted on those who occupy it. Entering a location requires expending a finite resource, and becomes more expensive if existing occupants do not wish for you to join them. This grants us the ability to represent stealth in terms of a difference in movement costs, rather than in terms of actual ignorance on the part of the player. The abstract space and movement of Fiendwake gives us some other fun advantages. Controlling movement and people's positions on the battlefield is one of the core aspects of combat. Rather than simply getting close and doling out damage, you want to drive people into vulnerable positions, as well as deny them access to the more powerful ones. This makes the choice dynamic of the battlefield more than just, hey, can I inflict larger numbers here? And it also makes the choice dynamic of the stealth-based character more than just, can I inflict more numbers by being sneaky? The strategic aspect of location control has turned out to dominate a lot of our playtesting simply because we enjoyed doing it, and that was our first indication that we were on the right track. I guess all I'm really trying to say here is that our design team is awesome. You know, I'm on the design team. I'm pretty awesome.